I've been, bearing the burden of taking care of the child the entire time with no help from the mother whatsoever.
Possession periods that you had indicated that you have the child. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that includes a total principal amount of $24,898, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that amount actually generated an interest. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that included an interest of $7,037.14.
Yes, ma'am.
And so the total maximum possession credit that the Office of the Attorney General calculated is $31,935.14.
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, you are asking the court to confirm your arrears as of yesterday and also to grant you the possession credit for that time period, correct?
Correct.
So in addition to the possession credit, is there anything else you're requesting the court as it relates to the child support arrears?
Yes, I would like to request that the remaining balance be absolved. It is my opinion that that money is not just credited, but is in all actuality owed to me, because I've been, bearing the burden of taking care of the child the entire time with no help from the mother whatsoever. And if that money should be owed to her from me, it should be the other way around. And I'm not asking for, child support from her or for that to be put on her balance. I just would like the remaining balance to be absolved.
And Mr. Rodriguez, let me ask you this. Did you ever file your own pleading for a modification in this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And why didn't you file your own pleading for the modification of this case?
To be quite honest, I didn't know how. I've been a father since 15. I've been having child support since, I was quite a young man. From the first checks of the first jobs that I've had, they've been taking money from me, So I'm not, I'm not a lawyer, and I really cannot afford to seek legal counsel is quite expensive. A blue collar worker, and my son is disabled. He needs 24-hour care. So I also pay for a living caretaker on top of supporting him.
And Mr. Rodriguez, let me ask you that. So in addition to the child living with you, what additional expenses have you incurred for the well-being of your child and the support of their child?
The caretaker. I need someone there 24/7 to watch him while I work.
And how much does it cost to have a caretaker?
I'd have to do the math. I don't have that number, right in front of me.
Is that an out-of-pocket expense that you've incurred?
Yes, it's out of pocket, yes.
And how often do you have to pay this caretaker?
Monthly.
Okay. And how do you pay the caretaker?
Through cash payment and through living expenses.
And how did you obtain a caretaker?
It's his grandmother.
Okay. And so how much? So how much are you paying for the caretaker per month then?
I give her about $3,400 a month.
$300 to $400 a month, you say?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
How long has she been taking care of the child for?
The entire time, that I've had him.
And sir, does the caretaker, and please state the caretaker's name for the record.
Helen Hernandez.
You said Anna?
Helen.
Oh, Helen, I'm sorry about that. And does Ms. Helen Hernandez reside with you?
Yes.
Okay. And how long has she been residing with you?
We've been living here in this address, I would say since January. I would say, shoot, let me think. I moved back from California in 2019. Since about then, she's been living with me consistently. But before I moved to California, she was living with me then, almost consecutively,
So regarding the caretaker, is she paying you rent to reside with you?
No, I take care of her. She's my mother. I would never charge my mother rent. I pay the bills. I give her extra for watching my son, and we have to make it work. There's no.
And does your child attend school?
Yes.
Okay. And what grade is your child in?
9th grade.
Okay. And what are his hours for school then?
His hours for school are from 7 to about 2:30.
And Do you
Ms.
take care?
Villarreal?
Oh, yes. Judge.
I guess I have a question about why we're going down this road. I don't believe your pleading asks for well, it has to be modified, but not to
Correct.
change, like for her to pay.
Correct. Yes,
Um,
Judge.
And then,
No, I'm not
do
asking
you
for
know
that.
of any family code provision or case law that would allow me to reimburse him for money spent during that time frame?
I don't, Your Honor.
I don't
and
either.
and it wasn't the state's position to request for any additional reimbursement other than the possession credit itself. But
Okay.
I do know that it's Mr. Rodriguez's position to request if the court would allow any additional pay. And with that, Your Honor, if I may proceed and just move on with my line of questioning.
Okay, you may do so.
Thank you. And sir, at this time, you are also requesting a non-disclosure of your identifying information on the order?
Yes, ma'am.
And why? Why is that?
Just for the well-being of the child. You know, right now, if she wanted to, she could come pick him up, take him, and not bring him back. You know, and I'd prefer, you know, if she really wanted contact with him over the past 10 years, she would have made that contact. I just don't like the idea of someone being able to legally come and take your child, you know, my child. You know, I don't think anybody likes that idea in the back of them.
Sir, has Miss Pennington threatened you in any way or the child?
No, but
Has she shown up to your residence unannounced?
no,
Has she physically harmed you or the child recently?
no.
Okay. And you understand that the prior order does include a full disclosure of both of your identifying information. So you should be disclosing where you're residing to Ms. Pennington. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, with that, I pass this witness. And the only thing that the state is requesting, in addition to the confirmation of the arrears as of yesterday of October 17, 2023, is the allocation of the court costs in this case. And if the court can just make appropriate orders regarding the non-disclosure for that, Mr. Rodriguez.
I'm not sure I can allocate because it sounds like they're both recipients of services. And so the family code only allows, like, if they're recipients, I'm not allowed to order court costs against people.
Okay.
What are you asking with regard to child support and medical support?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about that, Judge.
Yeah.
So at this time, we are requesting that Mr. Adrian Rodriguez obligation to pay child support is terminated as of today. Regarding the medical, we are asking that Mr. Rodriguez's cash medical support be terminated as of today as well, and that the child continue to receive the Medicaid through his Social Security disability Medicaid program that he's on. And Mr. Rodriguez, at this time, your child is receiving Medicaid through the Social Security disability?
Yes, ma'am.
So the state does not represent you. Is there anything else you'd like to say about any of these issues?
No, ma'am. The only thing I'm seeking is the absolution of the remaining balance of the arrears and the medical costs, seeing that, you know, I've had him for this entire time, and he's not, you know, receiving any medical services through child support or anything like that. He receives them through the state based on his disability.
And Ms. Villarreal, I'm guessing somebody in your office reviewed the arrears and they believe they're the medical arrears, sorry.
Yes, I
They're
reviewed the
accurate.
medical arrears. Yes, Your Honor, they are accurate.
And sir, I certainly understand why you're asking what you're asking. But unfortunately, the family code and case law does not allow me to do what you're asking me to do. And so I'm bound by that. Had she shown, you know, you all can make agreements outside of what a court is authorized to do. But with her not being here, it limits, I can only grant what's pled for and what the law allows in a default situation. And so it limits a lot what I can do, and it limits a lot what you can do. And so again, I certainly understand why you're asking, and I'm sure it's been difficult, but unfortunately I can only release up to what was actually owed in child support. The family code and case law is pretty clear on that.
Okay.
So that being said, I am going to terminate your child support and cash medical support as of today, as requested. And I'm going to confirm the child support after the possession credits. I find that it leaves $4,839.78. And I'm gonna order that you pay that back. Well, let me see what's owed on medical first.
I have one question. Am I able to, if I get a lawyer, contest the remaining balance of the arrears and the medical again, or no? It's just this.
I can't give you legal advice, sir. A creative lawyer might come up with a creative solution. But this is my order today based on the law and what's been presented to me.
And just for clarification, there will be no allocation to the court costs, correct?
No, because from the testimony I've heard, I don't believe I can per the family code. I believe everyone's been a recipient of services of some sort.
Yes, Judge.
And
I'm sorry, Judge. Lastly, just the medical provision regarding the case, would the child just continue Medicaid through his own?
I don't believe there's a special way to write that. But if there is, yes, I guess Mr. Rodriguez is ordered to apply through Medicaid. Is that what you're asking? Yeah.
Yes, Judge, and technically would be through the child's Social Security disability with no payout or anything like that. Because that was applied for. So regarding any reimbursement from Ms. Pennington.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, that's everything, Judge. Your Honor, may we be excused to the breakout room?
And then one second, and sir, in light of what you did just ask, though, I do want to let you know I am an associate judge. So you can request the referring court hear this case. To do that, you'd have to put that request in writing and file it with the district clerk's office within 3 days of me signing your order. You then have to coordinate with the referring court in Galveston to get a hearing date, time, and location. And you would have to provide legal notice of the hearing date, time, and location to all the parties. You'd have to comply with any requirements of that court. They sometimes require mediation, parenting classes, and then you would have to appear for the hearing as well. And you could consult a lawyer who also could possibly contest this order in other ways as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
He has $1 million house in each of his name, her name. They have land, his name, her name. So if he can live like that and we're struggling.
He's spending money lavishly. I get that that's your point. I guess the quite, but that's not evidence of income.
He gave my son cocaine and he has touched him